friends of library, who are the friends of library, and why they have decided to partner with us on this project. So please let us clap our hands for Mr. Mike.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mike Klink. I serve as the chairperson of the Friends of Central Library. The Friends of Central Library is a non-profit organization that fundraises for Central Library. We address book launches and also we address free programming. For example, we have free poetry workshops, we have Scrabble workshops to help people to improve the library. What then happens then is we then either sell those books for fundraising to buy more books for the library, or what we do is we support small NPOs that have reading programs, or high school and primary schools who have reading programs, and we donate books to them at no cost. In closing, if you're an author and you want to launch your book, you're welcome to come and chat to us. Importantly, it's when you sell your book, that's where we have to partner, because you're not allowed to sell in the library ecosystem. So with us partnering, you're selling in collaboration with us as the fundraiser. What then happens then is we ask for a 10% donation of sales, and that then gets put into supporting the library. So we welcome you and we thank you for your attendance in today's conversation on wellness, because libraries are spaces not just about knowledge, and I always say it's not just about book in, book out, studying. It's about community development, it's about community engagement, it's about embracing the culture of lifelong learning and celebrating Africa as we are all citizens of Africa at this moment in time. So thank you very much, everybody, and have a great session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike, for those beautiful words introducing the Friends of Library to our guests. So I wanted us to dive into the conversation, because this is a conversation, I really want us to interact. I know there's people out here who are in the humanitarian space, like Mr. Kobe on the other side. We have people here who are in a more specialist, more in the medical space, like Dr. Azika is here. And also we have people who are more in the spiritual development, like our mama on the other side. So these people will be able to empower us with their expertise, but also when you're interacting, you will give us your views, your experiences as parents and as chiefs in the community. You will bring that up, and this is what we want. I just really ask you to make it a conversation and not a one-way thing. Are we together?
Sure. Together, yes.
Amazing. So before I go forward, my name is Lucimadio Simao. I'm the son of South Africa. I was expecting you to say something, no, I'm a son from Africa. Why I say that is I say that because I grew up here. I came here when I was 17 to get to my 18, like a month before I get to 18 years old. And when I got here alone. No parents.
You came from where to here?
I came from another part of Africa.
Which is?
I don't like talking where I'm from, but I come from Angola, basically. So I'm an Angolian by origin, and I'm also Bantu. So that makes me not to really look into which country I'm coming from, because as Africans, we are all one. And that's why I feel I'm very, very happy to be in South Africa. And my first years in Africa was very tough because it was very cold and I couldn't take it. Imagine, coming from a country that was very hot at that moment, and then got in the plane straight to South Africa, and I found out, oh, why this side is cold and that side is hot? And for me to get used to it took me a lot of time, but then I got that time. I remember I called my father and I told him, Father, I need to go back home. And he said, why? It's cold. I can't take it. It's too cold. And he said, I understand, but that's the time for you to become a man. I didn't understand what he wanted to say. I came to understand that later in the years, that actually he was right. When you are in a cold country, you become a man. You know, I don't mean that if you are in a hot country, you become a woman.
I know.
I don't mean that. What I mean is that the situations that you find in a country that is not your home makes you grow. Because you learn to live with people that you do not grow with. You know, you learn to face problems with a whole different mindset. You learn to, you know, talk the language of people that you did not grow up with. And from that, it makes you a whole different person. And I'm very thankful. And I even was in the conversation with the councillor of Cape Town. I told him that I'm thankful for Cape Town because it made me the person that I am today. I've learned a lot in this country. But also that includes a lot of struggles as a person. You know, having to fight my own demons, as we say. You know, having to struggle with mental health. Imagining being a 17 years old, coming to this country to study, because at that time I wanted to study to get to university, and suddenly the person who takes me here abandons me. It goes back wherever it wants to. It never goes back. It doesn't know how am I living, and it just doesn't care. And you know, you start facing difficulties. No job, no proper skills in your hands that you can go out there and find a job and, you know, earn a living. And that started affecting me very much. For a very long time, I lived in a space where I didn't know what's going to happen to me the next day. I fought my fight. The parents were able to help in the beginning, but then later on, what happens is that they stop because my father got pension. Then he wasn't able to pay my school fees and also my siblings' school fees. So all of that affected me. And he called me back home, I remember that time, and he made me sit and he said to me, it's better for you to stay here and study here because if you go to South Africa and I can't help you, I don't know how you're going to live. You're still very young. And that time my mother was very angry with my father because why did you let my son at this age get out of this place? But my dad said, he must be a man. So I told my dad, it's fine. I'm already there. I'm not coming back here. Because I already see my future. I already see where I want to be. So if I have to struggle that side, I'm going to go and I'm struggle. You take care of my siblings. And they look at me and they say, now you become a man. And I took a plane back to South Africa. From that moment, my life was never the same. And there was a time where I tried everything. I tried all things. Look for a job, nothing. I was studying at that moment at Nottingham College. I was doing my NATED course, N1 in mechanics. And then suddenly the person that wanted to assist me to get my visa renewed just took my money and my passport and it just disappeared. Until today I never got it back. But, well, praise God, I'm legal now. So I was like, hey, it's illegal, it's illegal. No, I'm legal now, I'm legal now. So, but that was a process, that was a whole work that I had to go through. So with no skills, nothing that I could use, I had to survive in a country where I had no parent, no relative. You know, until that affected me so much. But I had to start learning to work on myself. Learned to understand the type of person that I was. You know, and the hardest part of this whole thing of my life was that I came to find out that I was doing a lot of things and I wasn't getting nothing done. And I imagined myself being on that space with no one to support you. I tried to start my first business, it didn't work. I tried different jobs, never worked. I got into different projects, it's not working. It's like every time that I try to get into something, I'm not able to finish it. I'll struggle with that. And it came to my attention, people saying to me, but Lucy, why you are so brilliant, all this gift that you have, you always want to do something but never goes to the end. You come to us with a new project but you never do it. You do this but it's just a chaos. So my future, my life was at stake because I couldn't get anything done and I was not in a good position to even not try because I had no one to support me. You know? So that came to me when then I found out that I was having symptoms of ADHD as well. And I remember when I was still very young, my father was always telling me, do one thing. But I wasn't there because I grew up, I'm going to school, to high school, but I'm doing multiple other courses around. And my dad was very furious with me because why do you have to go to high school and you are doing English course, computer literacy? You're doing this, you're doing that. Like, what do you want? But even though I managed to get certain things done, but it was a struggle for me to focus on one thing. And that affected me when I came to South Africa. It was even worse because now without a support, it was just a mess. So sometimes we find ourselves in a space where we feel like it's a devil is fighting us or something, but it's not. I came to understand myself and I had to start working on my character and working on my personality, working on every single aspect of my life so I can be able to stand and say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm following. And once I'm getting this, I'm getting it done. This is how I'm focusing. And the other part of that ADHD in my life also brought, that also made me worry a lot and fight a lot, is the fact that I was very impulsive. Because people were saying that this guy, if you try him, he's straight on you. That's how it was. Maybe because of martial arts, but always fighting, I want to get into a fight. Because I wasn't able to control myself. I was fast to respond. I was fast to speak when the people were telling me something. I was always wanting to just go into something, just without controlling, without thinking twice. My behavior was not perfect, but people praised me because I'm very skillful. I have a lot of gifts, but it's struggling. I'm struggling to align everything. So that was a moment where I found out that I have to work on myself. And now, I'm the type of person that I have today, with whatever God has, empowered me with, because I had to work on myself. I've never had a chance to go through medical procedures or any type of therapy, psychiatric or anything, never. So my way of dealing with ADHD was more of looking into myself and working on myself. But today, we are going to learn not just from a personal development perspective, but from a medical perspective and from a spiritual perspective. So I would like to bring first to this place to come and engage with us, Dr. Azika, so that he can give us his perspective as a specialist and expert in psychology on what goes around it, why that happens, and how from a scientific point of view, we can then deal with that. So please let's clap our hands for Dr. Azika as he comes.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our hosts. Such an impressive introduction. Yeah, so I will be looking briefly at the diagnostic predisposition of ADHD. You were not diagnosed. That's what I'll start from. you were not diagnosed, sure, that somebody possibly told you that it appears you are ADHD. Now, the reason I'm saying this is that the only person who can pinpoint a condition is a person who is trained and certified to do so. And the reason I'm saying this is that psychological conditions are very similar. Very similar. ADHD has very similar characteristics with bipolar. And if you are not careful, you think that it is basically the same. So that's what I want us to pinpoint here now. Well, we live in a continent where spirituality is a major factor of our life as Africans. Indeed, a very, very important African scholar has said that Africans are notoriously religious, and I'm sure when the religious people come to the podium, they will explain to that. Now, so as I said, I'll give some glimpses of what I'm going to talk about. Tomorrow, there will be a full disclosure to this. When I used to be in one of our biggest facilities in Accra, Ghana, Accra Mental Hospital, if I saw 10 patients, 8 of them will be people who possibly would have gone to their pastor, would have gone to their imam, or possibly gone to their spiritualist. And so we are so disadvantaged as Africans when it comes to mental health, because mental health is very close to spirituality. Indeed, in Africa, close to about 80% who have mental health challenges are attributed to spirituality. So we are very disadvantaged. Now, therefore, anybody who has a mental condition must be diagnosed, assessed, and be given a prescription as such. In psychology and psychiatry, we have a certain manual called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of American Psychiatric Association. It's a very voluminous book. After making all your assessment, you compare it with a particular condition and be able to know that, hey, this is what it is. But some characteristics about ADHD, and then I will share a little experience of some patients I've been with. As I said, tomorrow I'll be looking at the diagnostic criteria, because it is very difficult to distinguish between ADHD and bipolar, or what we call the personality disorders. So ADHD is a personality disorder, and it is only a drop in the ocean out of all the personality disorders. Now, so the reason I was taking it from your point was that because you didn't go to a doctor and you were told so, I, as a professional, possibly you were not diagnosed, but now because of your readings, you would think that most of the characteristics you were exhibiting was possibly from them. Now, the main foundation of ADHD is purely biological. Purely biological. Psychological conditions can be from many perspectives. One of them could be biological, as I mentioned. One of them could be as a result of trauma. One of them could be as a lived condition. And one of them could be as a result of your environment. Now, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is purely a biological predisposition. Therefore means that people who have it were born with it. It's biological. And any condition that is biological is very difficult to fight with. It is either you fight it biologically or you combine biology with some environmental interventions. Now, again, bringing it to Africa, mental conditions are very difficult to be financed. Again, it's not like regular mainline condition, regular physiological condition where a tablet or two in a matter of 3 days or 7 days or almost 21 days you have a relief. It's not like that. No. Psychological and psychiatric condition. For some of them, you need to fight it for 3 years. You need to fight it for 5 years. There are some patients who have been with me for 7 years and counting. It means that they have been put on medication and regularly they will need to come for such treatment over and over and over. So in short, I want us to know that diagnosing and knowing this is the condition and making sure that it is well treated can really be daunting, and it can really be very tough in that manner. All right. So this is my introduction. I wish you will ask me a question or two so that I can just throw more light. Yes. But as I said, tomorrow there will be a full discussion on diagnosis and intervention. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Is it still morning?
Please, you sit.
Thank
It's
you.
a conversation.
Is it still morning?
Yes, it's still morning.
Good morning, everyone.
It's still morning, yes.
Abo.
And the response?
You're supposed to say hello.
Okay.
And to say?
Oh, Mehoye. All right, sure. Yes.
Okay, just a quick question. If you say it's biological, so that means if you have ADHD, that means you are born with, right?
Yes.
Is it possible for the doctors to pick it up from birth? If you are
Use that word again, P up. I didn't hear it.
Can you pick it up?
Oh, pick it up, yes. Okay.
From birth.
Yes. Okay, so what do you call birth? Are you referring to birth as just when the child is born on that very day?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
No. So it is noticed during the developmental pattern. So usually my clients who are around age 7, just when I was coming, a lady calls, being referred to my clinic, the child is 3 years and showing all the symptoms of ADHD. Now, as a practitioner, the moment because I've handled it for a very long time, okay, fine, right, but bring the child to me for me to go through the diagnostic criteria for me to say that yes, that is it. So you can't pick it from birth. It's not a physiological predisposition where you see the limb is not there, the eye possibly are not wide open or dilated. This is a developmental process. So as you start, so for example, a child is not supposed to continually suck breasts, bite you all over. It is abnormal. There could be some interventional biting. Now, once in a while, a child may bite your breast once, but if anytime you put the breast in the mouth of the child bites you. Even in pain, the child bites you. It's an indication. I'm not saying it's indication. I'm saying that it is suggesting that possibly something is happening. All right. So a child is in a class, a crèche, as we may call it in Ghana, and right from day one, he or she stands up and begin to use a pencil to, in Ghana we say chook, break the back of everybody. Anytime teacher is teaching, breaking the back of everybody. Hey, sit down. Okay, he'll sit down 2 minutes. The next 2 minutes, he jumps on the seat. Now you would think you have a lively child who possibly is developing the skills of boxing or wrestling. Okay, but it must not continue. See, once you're able to tell the child, sit down, and the child does not hit to the sitting, it is suggesting to you, why are all the children calm, but this other person is just not calm? Okay, so it's not something you can detect from birth, day one, no. Just when you're in the developmental stages. Yes, anymore. Supposed to be interactive, so let's interact.
Okay. So So, like in terms of schooling, now we are sitting with this children, okay, with this child that has this sort of behavior, which is he or she keeps on throwing, pencils. Because I know my first one used to do that. So, in case of like in terms of that case, can the child still remain in normal school, or can the child be referred to a special school?
Okay. All right. So, I have told you that psychological and psychiatric conditions are very similar. Sometimes a child who has attention deficit, many people think they have autism. Sometimes, but I've always told them, look, that is not true. You need the proper diagnosis. Many a times I say that you don't need to take them to a special school. There is a spectrum. See, there's a spectrum that determines severity of a condition. This is very severe. This is mild. This is intermittent. So until the doctor will say otherwise, you don't just decide to move the child from the main class to a special school. What I say is that let's give a special attention to the child, because those children are extremely talented, but they can't focus, so they become very bad in class. They become very, very, very bad in class because they can't focus. So once you remove them from the main class and put them in a special class, it also becomes a stigma. Why am I in a different place? And teachers will always want their peace in class. So they always will put that child somewhere. You don't look like everybody. So you become the black sheep or the black goat always being put, and that becomes stigma. Well, they say I'm not good. And the thing is that this child is suffering from lack of attention. He's seeking more attention. So you always want to misbehave so that more attention will, he or she enjoys a punishment. So you, the teacher, thinks that you are punishing, but that is the child's gratification. Let's go and do it. When it comes, put all the blame on me. The child is happy being punished, and you are thinking you are punishing the child. So I don't advise you put the child to a special class or a special school, but you give the child an attention. Yes, yes, please.
So in a society like the African settings where a majority of our parents don't have the financial capacity to sort of pay specialists, what are some of the common things that parents can do in terms of monitoring some of these children?
All right. So, beautiful question. Again, in most part of Africa, children who are suffering from this condition will end up possibly not following their gift, because just as he demonstrated, they are people of several gifts. So I tell parents, engage them. The African parent doesn't engage people or their children. It is distraction. Sit down, I am your father. When I say sit down, you must sit down. No, it doesn't work with that child. That child who is an attention seeker gets happy when he distracts. So you telling him to sit down, it's like not saying anything. So I always will tell people, engage them. They want to understand the reason behind why something must not be done or something must be done. So engage them. They want the attention. Out of 10 children, he wants to be the hero. I'm the macho man.
Yeah.
Give me my due. And so parents, I have them, engage them. See, unfortunately, fathers are out of the equation because they want to go and bring money. You can't ask me to engage you when I'm feeding 5 mouths. Your mother is not working at the mic. I can't engage you. So this father rather makes the child a point of punishment and a point of reference. Or don't be like your brother. Don't be like your sister. So these children grow out increasingly withdrawing and still finding things that makes them happy. And usually they engage in crime. So I've realized that most criminals do it for gratification. Oh, you've gone to steal $2 million from a bank. Why must you go again? So it's not really the fact that the person wants to go and steal. It is what makes him human. I have engaged a lot of prostitutes who will tell me, I have, especially the Nigerians, I have 2 houses here. Even in Ghana, I have this house. Why are you still doing prostitution? So all this become part of me. And realize that they are not doing prostitution because they want money. They don't, because somebody who can go out and get $1,000 in a day, a week, and you have done this for 5 consecutive years, why do you still want to go? It has come to that point of gratification. That's what makes her happy. If she doesn't get something passing through her legs, she's just not human. And it's the same with this condition we are talking about. It's not because the child wants to be stubborn, but it's because that is what the child feeds on to become human. That's what makes me me. So yeah, that's for me, that's how I am. I mean, that's how I am. There's nothing you can do to me, that's how God created me. And so you don't fight what they claim God has created them to be. You respect them and engage them. Listen to them. If you don't listen to them, they will make you listen to them and you will not like it. Yes, please.
Yeah, I just want to know, since you say it's a biological issue, is it treated biologically or mentally?
All right. So it is treated biologically plus other environmental interventions. You can't treat it biologically alone. Especially, I don't like putting my younger clients on medication. They will become stuck to it forever. See, so there is a whole social interventions that you put them in. There is a musician in our country. The moment I mention a musician, they are all smiling, Shatawale. See, this is a pure case of a boy who had attention deficit disorder from day one. They didn't see, but he still had a talent. So even as a father now, if he doesn't come on air and blast, he still is not happy. Although by far he has achieved almost everything a musician must achieve. Okay, so such a person, you would have tried a certain environmental intervention. At some point in time, you can start the medication. You withdraw a little bit, you continue the medication a little bit. But at where he is now, there can't be any social intervention unless you put him on a permanent medication forever. Yes, please.
From your preamble, you mentioned that in our system where we sort of blame everything in a spiritual perspective, will you admit that the ecosystem in terms of our media, policymakers, have also failed us in terms of the orientation given to us as parents, as individuals in our school curriculum? Because it seems to be like generally people don't have a holistic knowledge about the whole thing. I mean, while on flight, I was telling you about a friend who has kids, and anytime I visit them, I see difference between, the children. They run all over the place. And for me, I was blaming it to like spiritual, because from the media's perspective, I don't hear anything education on the media talking about it. From policymakers, conversations around it. What can be done to actually, from a national point of view,
Yeah, so I know
what can be done to create that conversation? Because there's a lot of conversation around, a lot of things like HIV, like single cell and all those things. But with this in particular, there hasn't been that attention.
Okay, perfect question. How I wish this question was asked in Ghana, but it will help us here. Now, so tomorrow maybe I will start with my journey as a human being. I told you I was a street boy. Alright. So in what I do in medicine, I think I'm one of the few people on earth who combines medicine, spirituality and psychological predisposition in interventions. So for all my education, I have 3 PhDs. One of them, which I did here, medical psychology, was purely studying how medical conditions that are sent to South African hospitals have spiritual connotations. I did it here, right in Cape Town. So, a person comes to clinic with a condition like diabetes, and you're asking the person, do you know the origin of your diabetes? And he says, well, I came to meet it in my family, but I was told that it's a spiritual sickness. So because of that, the person might have gone to the sangoma, who possibly might have prescribed 1 or 2. So I wanted to understand why Africans think that they are spirituality. So how to combine medicine, mainline medicine, combine mainline psychiatry, and then combine mainline spirituality. So I am a reverend minister of the Methodist Church as well, combining all this. Now, copy. Now to your question. Mental health doesn't pay. That is just a thing. So for those of us who are still in this business, we are doing it 80% sacrificial. Mental health doesn't pay. HIV pays too much. COVID-19 will pay, but mental health will not pay. And especially in a country like Ghana, where we are a middle income country, people are not interested in things that doesn't bring money. That is just the point. Now, this is why the job you and I have taken upon ourselves will be a godsend thing. Because if we don't start the advocacy now, nobody, who could have thought that me, a street boy selling sugarcane, can be a professor speaking? Not right now. I went to do something at the stand-up. I saw all the street people, all the things, and actually, many years ago, I was doing this. Could there be, how many professors are still on the street? Possibly not their fault. So it begins with this advocacy we are doing. Somebody becoming the mouthpiece and championing the cause. And it's the reason why all of us are here. I was telling them what I left in Ghana to come and be here. You have no idea. You just have no idea. This is what possibly God has brought us on earth to do. So when we go back to Ghana, we must take it as our baby. Now the good thing is that we will still chop from it anyway, because we are still going to make it sound so loud. Now it's not loud. When it comes to who made it loud? They'll say Kobiche, and that's where the money will come from. People are not interested in beginnings. They always want to be associated with things that are ripe and ready. So there's a bigger task, using social media, using mainline media, using the churches, using the mosque, and making people know that people are not mad as you claim. How can a person who is accomplished in life say, I'm not happy about life, I want to commit suicide? And he writes a suicide note, I am not happy about life, I am dying. And the person actually commits suicide. There you see life is not all about putting food in the mouth and getting money. It's also about being fulfilled. And many people are not fulfilled, and this is as a result of mental conditions. How can one man not be satisfied with one? You let me give, at least we are Africans, so 4 vaginas at most, or 4 pennies at most. How